Hi everyone, it's Chicky Chap Gaming, keeping it simple. And as you can see, I'm on this game again called Professional Fishing 2, the demo version. This is a getting started basics video, just to sort of tell you how to get started early doors and to understand all the setups in the menus. So it's probably going to be about 20 minutes long, this video. If that's too long for you, then apologies in advance, but it needs to be quite thorough because it's quite important to understand the fundamentals at the beginning. So off the bat, we'll get straight into the meat and bones. So first of all, the graphics card. Obviously, depending on your graphics card, will have a major impact. It'll preset everything for you, but you can change the fundamentals if you want to. Like for example, water reflection, you can have it on all, or you can have it on screen space, none, whatever. You can choose what you want: low, medium, high water reflection. You can have it an ultra low, whatever, depending what frames per second you want. Um, this is straightforward. It's just very simple stuff. If you've been playing games for a long time, you'll understand the basics of setting the graphics up. So I don't really need to go in that. As with the sound, same thing. I've moved it all down to 50% for doing this video because some of the sounds are quite loud. I've turned the music off for obvious reasons. Controls, I'm going to go through the controls during the game, but you can set it up for keyboard and mouse and for gamepad, depending what you want to play, obviously. And then the game settings, this is pretty straightforward as well. Country you can select, so Polish, Russian, German, and English at the moment. Third person or first or third person, kilograms or pounds in weight units. Day format, 24-hour clock or 12-hour clock. Length in units in centimeters or feet or inches. Again, temperature in Celsius, Fahrenheit. I haven't got a clue what K stands for. Let me know below if you know what it is. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. That's it basically. That's the fundamentals of the menu to start with. You can see I'm going to continue a game, but you can actually start a single player game from fresh if you want to. You'll notice there's a single player and there's a multiplayer game. I'm going to go into the multiplayer just to show you what it's about, but the single player is exactly the same. It's just people can't talk to you. That's the only difference. You can get help in the game. I've never actually pressed this. Let's have a look about the game. So it just tells you the basic fundamentals, how to play. So it does go through stuff. I'm going to go through exactly the same thing here. So, but if you don't want to listen to me rabbiting on, then you can see what's going on here. This is quite interesting. You can put a tent up using T, which is pretty cool. And then when you log off, you come back on your tent when you log back in. It's pretty cool. I'm going to go through all these. Obviously, you can use boats in the multiplayer game as well. So if you're not sure and you want to come back into this menu, this will help you to work out how to do some of the basics and the fundamentals of the game. It's pretty straightforward, really. I'm going to go back, and then we're going to continue. So I'm going to go through. When you restart the game and you've not got a tent up, this is basically where you restart here. It's raining in this one. Interesting. I'm going to press the M for map so you can see where we are. So all these, you can scroll out as well, makes the map bigger. You can visit this place, and this place is unnamed at the moment. You can't visit that as you go down here. It just kicks you back. So you can walk all the way around the lake, which is great. You can walk up so far then and it kicks you off. Same as if you try and walk up the road, it kicks you off. You can tick these, or you can untick them, and it does the appropriate thing, as you can see. And you can also use that, or the middle mouse button does the same thing. So let's introduce you to the shop and the fishmonger guy at the market. So you have to have fish in your net to be able to sell. He'll stand up, he'll start rabbiting to you. Press E to talk to him. E is to talk. As you can see, I've got a couple of nets here. So it tells you how many fish are in that net. Sell. I've got one fish in that net, so let's sell it. So now there's no orange thing there, so there's no fish in that net at all. My other net, no idea where I had one fish in there. This is your starter net, guys. You get 66.41 pounds to start with. You can fill that in about 10. Well, let's not be facetious. You can fill it in 20 minutes or maybe half an hour. This is the biggest net you can buy. 330.69 pounds. As you can see, I've got a bucket load of money for what I've got in here. I'm just going to show you some of the fish that I've caught so you can see what to expect. If you want to see the weight of these, and you can click on them, and it brings a picture up of that said fish. Then you can swirl it round. So Obviously, the bigger the fish, the more stars you get on it. Obviously, that's only a 2-star. The stars depend on the size of the fish. So if it's a big fish, let's see if we can find northern pike. There's a common bream. That's 420. That's a big bream. That's only 2. So these are all 2-star because they're not massive. What about this? This might be a 3. Oh, it's a 4-star. There we go. 4.31. That should be a 4 as well. There we go. This is just dick swinging this, guys. I'm not showing off here. It's just I wanted to catch a lot of fish just to put them in a net to sell for you guys to see it. So yeah, that's pretty much. Let's just sell all these fish and get out of this menu because that's all this was about. I don't want this video going on for half an hour or so. Just want to keep it basics and get it started. In the shop, I am actually going to buy some line in here because I do need some line. Just same thing again. You press the E key when you get close to here. You see if you look down on there, you can see press the E key and it opens up the menu. I'm not going to go through this whole menu because it's pretty straightforward, right? You click on an item, you pay up here for it. You click on that, you buy that said rod. You buy what you need, obviously, and you can see there's reels in the game. That's your starter reel. That's your starter rod. There's no point in buying a second one, and I wouldn't waste any money buying another one of these bamboo things. It's a total waste of time, guys. Your reel, don't buy a second one of them, honestly, seriously. Don't buy anything bar that one there. That's the only reel that you need to buy in this game. At the moment, anyway, there is a mobile version of this. You can look at it on the net, and it'll give you a bit of information. I am going to nip down here and buy one of these. 170. I would advise that you buy one of these when you can afford it for your new rod, because it allows you to catch up to £10 on it. Your basic one that you start off with is the 51, which is around somewhere. Where is it? There it is. So that's the one you have to start with. Believe you me, that snaps it. You just have to look at it and it'll snap. So yeah, you want to get rid of that as quick as you can. First things first, when you start fishing in this game, you've got to earn coinage to buy stuff. And to do that, you have to catch fish. And there's 3 lots of points in the game, which I'll show you when we start catching. These are pretty irrelevant. That's just your ranking. The one that's important is the one that you get for selling fish, and the other one is points that you get for gaining experience, which is that. And you start off at level 1 and progress through. So floats, you start off with this basic float. You can buy them other ones. You buy a float, tells you what ounces you need in weight above each float. So if you go with the float weights, you can pick up the right weights that you need for whatever. I've not seen. There's obviously going to be a 7-ounce float in the game, but there isn't one yet. Hooks. This is another important thing. Smaller the hook, smaller the fish. Bigger the hook, bigger the fish. But you need to balance your line and everything. So you'll see if we click on that one there, you can catch up to £64, between £2.20 and 64. So anything below £2.20 won't bite on that hook. But on the other end of the scale, anything from 0 to £2.20 on an 18, you can't catch anything bigger than that. So if you want to catch somewhere around the £6 mark, you obviously need to be using a 16s up. And to purchase that, you click on it and you press the buy button and you just bought it. Simple as that. So you want to buy a few different hooks when you first start. Natural baits. This is the first thing you buy, guys, when you're in the game. So you catch your first couple of fish, come to the shop and buy a maggot, a bunch of maggots, and a bunch of worms. You start off with bread initially, okay? This is you catch fish on this, but it takes forever to catch some fish on it unless you know how to use it properly. It's not very good in shallow water. This is brilliant in shallow water. This is great in deep water, and that's medium water basically. That's free. You only need one of them. There's no point in buying any more, and you have to pay for them, obviously. Artificial baits, I'm not going to go through them. I'll go through them on another video. Ground bait, yes, buy ground bait if you can afford it, but don't buy it straight off the bat. First thing you want is you want to buy yourself a couple more hooks. Well, first of all, you want to buy bait. You want to buy maggots and worm. They're the first things to buy, nothing else. Then buy yourself some line, and then start looking at buying extra hooks, because you can live off the first hook to start with. You're just not going to catch massive fish on it. I have done a previous video that's on there. You'll see me on the basic rod catching big tench. You can do it on a small rod, guys. So you don't need rod stands. These are something to buy later down the game when you've got a shitload of money. Don't be faffing around with them early doors. Same with the bite alarms. Nearly £1 a piece. Not worth it at the beginning. Catapult. Bait launcher. What the hell? Who calls them bait launchers? It's a catapult, for God's sake. Fishing nets. My best advice to you, my top tip in this game, is once you've accumulated $1,250, points, whatever, buy yourself this net. It will save you running backwards and forwards. You can literally sit at a water for 24 hours and fill this baby up. Providing you've got enough maggots, worms and bread, you can sit on the bank all day, all night if you choose to, and you can fill this baby up. If you want to fill this baby up, you'll be running backwards and forwards every 5 minutes on the starter net. Believe you me, 66 pound of fish. Catch that in half an hour, mate. So that's got to be your number one first before you even buy yourself a fancy rod or a reel, because you can carry on catching lots of fish on the beginning rod. Why spend 18 on that when you can spend 1250 and buy? That's the first thing that I did in this game. So that's your Steam logo, that's your level, that's your current points that you've collected, and that's what you need to go up to level 15. That's your overall ranking in the game compared to other players. You can't see that. You can't see what other players are doing. That's your current funds you've got. Simple as that. That's how easy this UI is, guys. So, enough chatting. Let's get out and look about. So, when you get onto a peg, we're going to use this first peg as an example. There's a board down here. This will allow you to do a bit of dick swinging. So, if you catch a big fish, oh, I've got my name on the board. Didn't even realise it was on there. I've got it twice. Wow. So, you can see I've got second place for a £3 roach. Oh, I thought I had it at the bottom as well, but it looks like someone else, Dove Bush, has taken out what I had there. But yeah, so I've got my name on the board there, which is the £3 roach, which is brilliant. I call that £3 roach. You don't have to fish on the platforms. You can, and then you can use the freebie rod rest here. So you press E to put it on there, and boom, your rod's on there. Obviously, you need to put your line in the water first. But before you do any fishing, guys, number one to pick that rod up, unless it's number 3 rod, then you have to use number 3 to pick it up like that. So number one rule, guys, before you put your rod in the water, press the control button, open your tackle box up, because that releases your mouse to move around, and then pick up your fishing net and put it in there so that you can, because if you put your fish, you go fishing first, and then you want to put a fish in the net to get the money for it, you don't get any money. So this is the first thing that touches the water. Never mind anything else. That has to touch the water before anything else. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to get any money for what you're doing. So that's the control key to open up your box, so you can look inside your box, and then you can click on the appropriate thing that you need to use to get whatever. So I'm just going to fish here next to this boat, because that's where I caught my £3 fish from. There are a couple of other things actually. Let's just press T first, because you can press T. Right, so you've got to set it up near a flat place, right? So. Right, so choose a flat spot. Is this not flat then? Right, there we go. So there's a flat spot. So now if I log off, I'll log back on, I'll come back to my tent wherever it is. So it saves you running all the way back. Because normally if you haven't put your tent down, you'll end up logging on here every time, even when you change your room. So you'll log on and you'll log here. So if you set up a place and you want to get back on there and fish straight away, put your tent down and it'll allow you. And also by using a tent, so if we press E on the tent, it'll allow you to do certain things. Well, it usually does. Why is it not allowing me this time? Right, okay, I don't understand what's going on here. It might be because it's in a dodgy place. Okay. Yep, it's just not working. So let me pick my tent back up and move it a bit further across here and put it down here. Right, there seems to be a bug here, guys. Not sure why. Let me just jump a minute. I'll sit down. I can't get down. Yeah, you normally can normally click on your tent and it allows you to sleep for a period of time. Well, I'll have to report that as a bug because it's definitely something wrong. It's not working. Let me pick the tent up anyway. I'm not going to leave it there. Let me just press V, because you'll actually see when you do that, it comes out your backpack, I think. Let me have a look. Yeah, see my backpack's gone now? Interesting. So that's your avatar. You can press V and you can pretty much look all the way around if you want. I'm just going to press V and go back into first person just to see if it's changed anything. It hasn't, though. Pick the tent back up. Let's not waste my time doing that. So, pick your rod up and then press your control button. Don't pick your rod up. I just told you not to do that. Press your control button. Open your tackle box. Go to your fishing net. Pick up your fishing net and drop it. Oh, there's a frog there. Look. That'll put you off, trust me. And then go to your fishing rod. So now let's go across all these things along the top here. So the fundamentals of this game are you can have 3 fishing rods. You can currently see the one I've got equipped is the one that says 3. These menus tell you what's what. I don't need to explain that. This here If we click on this, you can click on the rod and you can use a different rod if you've got any. You can click on each to make them appropriate, so it just shows you what's there. You can click on this rod, and if it's damaged, like this is, as you can see, 99.7%. So I've got 0.35% damage. Repair it, guys. Costs no money. Simple as that. So then we'll click on, whilst you've got this menu open, you can click on all these tabs at the top. Again, standard reel, casting reels. So we're going to use this, and this is 100%, so we don't need to repair that. So that's cool. Then we're going to click on the line, and the reason why I'm clicking on the line is because I've already used half of this. Normally, if I get just as it goes into the red, I usually just, if you click on it, because you can't repair this, but you can delete it. So if that was in the red down here, I would just delete it. I wouldn't faff around anymore, because you don't want to lose fish because you're being stingy. It's what's happened here is I've got half the line that I started with. If you see here, that same line, 1036, it's 492. So it's because you've been losing fish occasionally. I'll show you that in the menu in a moment. So that tells us that we've still got enough on that line because we're only casting really close to the bank. This one here, there's clearly going to be more in the future, but there's three types of float, and you can see they've all got different weights on them. So when you click on it, obviously it's 100%, we can't repair it. But again, if we go to the weight factor, if we try to put that on, I think we might be able to put that on. I'm not even sure what it does. Let me just check, guys, to see what this does, to see if it makes my float go under the water. I've never done this before, so this is a science try. So let's have a look. Yeah, it floats too heavy, it's gone right to the bottom. Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? So yeah, it does do what I thought it was going to do. So let's put the original foot weight back on. So there we go. If you click that arrow there, it will put that weight on your line. And I'm guessing it's probably changed my float. No, it hasn't. My float's still at 125, which it was before. So then we go to hooks. I already showed you in the shop on hooks. So if we click on the hooks, you can see you can catch between £0 and 220 on that 18. So obviously we want to go to a different hook here. So let's change it up and put it on a 16. If we close this window again and then click on it again, then it updates it. So you're not going to catch anything lower than a 0.44, but you will catch some between 0.44 pounds and 6.61 pound. So you need that hook on if you want to catch that type of fish. Are you with me, guys? And I believe you start with a 16 hook on this setup. I can't remember. You'll have to have a look when you first start. But the higher hook, see, look at that. The minimum you can catch is £1.32. So understanding this, it gives you a massive, massive leg up. So if you put this one on, minimum is 220. And that, I believe, is that the lowest one you can have? I think it's 2, is it? Yeah, I think 2 is the best hook you can have. I wish you could reset back in the numbers once you click out. But anyway, we're using this one. So I'm just going to press F2. F2 takes you into the other menu. Now, if you want to go make a coffee or go for a pee or whatever, press F2. The clock's still going in the game, but not the quest clock won't go. It's just the normal daytime clock, especially when you're in either single player or multiplayer. You already know what that is at the top. I don't need to explain that again. But this one here has got statistics. So how many fish I've caught in the game, the weight I've caught a fish overall, my best fish which I caught. That's ironical. There's a pike on there, look. Release fish 7. Place fish in the net, 896, but I've released 7, obviously. Lost fish, that's fish that you've lost because you've snapped off or broken or whatever. Points that I've earned and points that I've lost. I've lost 30 points because every time you put a fish on the floor or not in the net, it costs you 10 points. I've completed 28 of the tasks that I've started. I haven't failed any, and I haven't got any currently uncompleted because I've not taken one, which I'm going to do in a minute. Personal record. This is self-explanatory. You can move this down holding it with your left mouse button, holding your mouse button and moving it down. You can see best I've caught, 1321, 548. Tells you what you were what you were using, what you were wearing. Tells you how far out you cast in feet. And so you can see, it tells you where you caught it. These are all Forest Lake because we're fishing in Forest Lake. Even though Emerald, because that was caught in the Emerald Lake, but it still classes it as Forest Lake because that's the name of the map, basically. So you can see this tells you all the fish that you've caught. Rankings, the rankings are these here, but there's no table yet, so we can't see where you are. And licenses are going to be for other waters, I'm presuming. So That's basically your F2. You click out of F2 and then it brings you back in the game. You'll notice if I press it again, it's 15, 14. So we press F2 again and then just go through something else again quickly. So you can change your sex to female to male. I've come back as a male, but if I'd have changed it to sex, again, to sex, it comes back as a female. So hopefully that's now used about a minute at a time. You can change your head, what your head looks like. Well, you could do. I don't know why it's not working at the moment. Oh, I don't know. That must be blanked out. It must be the standard one. But all the ones that have got white next to them, you can see you can change them, which is cool. Anyway, let's come out of here now. Right, there you go. 15, 17. So 3 minutes have passed while we were faffing around doing that. Okay, fundamentals of fishing. Basically, you can change how high or the depth by moving it, holding your left mouse button and moving it up and down up to a maximum of 7.22 feet or to a minimum of 0.66 feet. If you use centimeters, obviously that'll be, I don't know, that's about 125. That'll be what, about 0.31 or something like that, I guess. Probably about that. Maybe it's a meter that's that. I can't remember. No, a meter's probably, it'd be a meter, won't it? So that'll be 0.31 centimeters. But anyway, we'll leave it at 1 anyway, and I'm going to cast in. So we've got a maggot on the hook. You can double check to see what you've got on the hook. So you've got that. So we can see currently we're using that. We've got 1 bite left in it, and then it'll disappear. So make sure that you've got a maggot on your hook. Right, so how you cast. There's 2 ways to cast. You can hold your left mouse button down, and when that circle turns green, you will now flick in that circle. So let's just release it. Bang, there we go. So now we're fishing. Now, you can hold your left mouse button to wind your line in a little bit, and you'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, we've now got a reel with a brake and a speed on it. If you press your middle mouse button, it takes it up to the brake. Now, I normally on this rod usually play it around the 20 to 30 mark, and I usually have that, when you first start with the lowest line on, I would put that on 80, and I wouldn't have that any more than, I would probably have that on 20 to start with on the new line. But because I've got a better line on, I'm going to go with this. So keep it on the top one, guys. So the 2 arrows are pointing towards the blue brake. The reason why you want that is because if the fish is running away, you move your mouse wheel forward or backwards. That increases or decreases that, and that'll have a massive difference on the top here, because if you put too much strain, you'll see a bar at the bottom here that starts in the middle and it moves to the outer side of each bar, which you'll see when we're catching a fish in a minute. And you get 3 of them bars. You get 1 for your rod, 1 for your reel, and 1 for your line. And if it goes to the very end on each, it starts taking off the green that you've got on your rod or your reel or your line or your hook. So wherever the strain's being felt, it'll show you on the graph at the bottom. So obviously you want to keep it within inside the boundaries so it's not full green on each bar is full of green. If you keep it inside, so if you're finding it's getting to the edge of the green and you're seeing your rod dropping down, then you want to just drop down your brake to a little bit lower, and then it'll stop that. You're always going to get that when you lift fish out of the water. When you catch a certain size fish, you'll get a landing net comes out automatically. That means you're about to land the fish and you can't lose it. So all you do then is you lift your right mouse button to keep your rod in the air, and slowly but surely the fish will come towards the landing net. And then once it's in the landing net, you just let go, and it'll just put the fish into your hand. And that's how that works, basically. Now, I'm hoping to catch a fish here quickly, because I want to show you the graphs that you're going to see when we catch a fish. It's not happening, is it? Let me wind it in a bit and go a bit deeper, because I really, really do want to catch a fish for you guys here, so that we can explain and show. And we're going to stay here until we catch a fish, so that'll dictate how long the video is. So let's come a bit closer in here. So just wind your line in a bit so it's not dead. Right, you see some round white circles to our right there. See the one there just popped? That means that there's fish in the area under the water. So that's probably where you want to be. There's one right on top of our float then, so that's cool. So there's fish action underneath the water. That's not rain, that's fish. That constitutes bubbles coming up from the bottom. There used to be bubbles in the game, but they've been replaced with them round circles. There's a few there. So, provided you've got circles going on around you, you should get a bite eventually. A bite can take anything from 1 to 6, 7, 8 minutes. It just depends what bait you've got and how deep you are and what time of day it is. I'm using maggots. That's about... It's 15:52, so from about 5 o'clock in the evening, 1700 hours, you want to be using worms. Anytime during the day from 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, you can put a maggot on or bread, and you'll catch small fish on the surface like I'm fishing at the moment. You'll see there's a small roach under there, and there's a small perch here. Every now and again when you're fishing, you'll see a line whoosh across. Be ready to lift your float up, because that means that a fish has seen your bait and it's swimming towards it dead quick, and it leaves like a bow wave behind, and then it'll pull your float straight under, and then strike with the right mouse button. That's how you strike to hook a fish. You use your right mouse button, so you click like that and strike. Obviously we're not got a fish on at the moment, but that's basically how that works. And then once you've struck and you've got the fish on, it will pull the line away from you, and it'll take your float away. Obviously you want to wait for your float to go under. You can catch it sometimes when it's running and stuff like that, but you're taking a chance by doing that. You're better off waiting until it goes under. So then you wind in with the left mouse button, then that will indicate how much damage you're taking on your rod, your line, your reel, whatever. These fish are not being very accommodating, are they? Never sat here this long in my life. And my record proves that, I hope, as you can see. Oh, there we go. Nope, that was me because I changed to that. Right, so what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to put a worm on. Let's put a worm on. And then I'm going to change my depth to 722. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cast out as far as I can. Now, you can cast out in two ways: by holding your left mouse button down, and that says it's as far as I can cast. I want to cast past that. So if you use your right mouse button instead, hold it down, and then you'll see a bar come up. If you want to cast it as far as you can, wait till it goes extended like that, and then let go. And that's the furthest you can cast this rod. So we're going to leave it out there for a minute, and I'm hoping that having a worm on and being on the bottom will actually give us a chance to catch a half decent fish. On top of that, you can make that float bigger or smaller in the settings. Can you see I've got no bait on it? It's come off when I cast it. So if we look up there now, we can see that I've got no bait on. So I've got to bring it back in. So let me just do something here. Let me go to settings, because I want to change the size of the float. Is it graphics? Can't remember. No, it's game. It's got to be game. Float, there we go. So let's put that on 10 and back out. Look at the size of that guy. Even Stevie Wonder can see that. Or you can go from one exaggeration to the next. So let's go settings, go to game, and then you can make it like the actual size. Oh, let's turn it off and see what happens with that one, because I've not done the off before. All right, so I've got no float on at all now. Right, we don't want that. We definitely don't want that. So I'm learning as much as you're learning here, guys. So let's put this on. Let's put it on 1. Or you can only put it on ×2. So let's see what ×2 looks like. Oh, cloud save. That's interesting. Didn't even know it was there. Right, so that's very small. So that's about what the size of the float would actually be. It's not going to go under because we've got no bait on. So let's wind it in quickly. Stick another worm on. I cast out and the worm came off. That happens occasionally, guys, unfortunately. And you need to be on your toes and watch that. Otherwise, you could be sat out there. I've done it many a time myself. Been sat out there like an idiot, waiting for my float to go down, and it ain't going down because I didn't have any bait on it. So I can cast it out as far as I did before. Oh, not quite. Okay, there we go. So that's as far as you can cast with this particular rod. So if you look in the bottom, it says distance 46.1. I'm intrigued now to know what the distance I can cast is on my other rod. So I'm going to do that if I miss a bite on this, guys. This is going to be quick, longer than 30 minutes, this video, I can tell, because I'm not going to get a bite quickly. Casting right out there, I'm going to have to... Oh, so see as it goes straight under. So right click, and you can see now my green bar at the bottom. I must have a half decent fish on. It's running away. Look at that. It looks pretty nice, that. So as long as it doesn't, so I'm just going to drop it down a bit. So I'm using my wheel to bring it in. Oh, I can't believe this, guys. There's a bit of luck in it, catching it. Right, you can see 2 bars are up now. My line is starting to take strain. Now it's gone again, so there's no strain on my line. But you'll notice that it's still 50 odd feet away. So if I drop my rod down and let it run about to get itself tired, if you watch the distance at the bottom, providing your bars don't fill up with green, you're going to be okay. So now it's coming in because it's getting tired, because it's pulling the full weight of the line on the water. But it'll keep running and coming back, running and coming back. You can change up to 30 or make your brake higher, and it'll bring it in light now. There we go. It's tired. So you're too far away from the water to use a landing net. So move forward. So we've caught a bream, guys. How cool is that? So there you go. We caught a 6.57, which is a record for this peg. So now, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, it's got a green box which says put it in the net. However, if we move to the right, it says drop it. If we move to the water, you can release it. So these need to be changed to a different colour. That needs to be red, that needs to be yellow, and that needs to be green, in my opinion. But you need to be really careful because they're all green. So if we put this in the net now, you'll see we'll get paid for it. So I'm going to change the rods over, guys. I'm going to use rod number 1. And just to see how far we can cast out. So let's just go back on here. So we've got a 6 hook on. Probably not going to be able to cast this out a long way, actually, because it's got an earthworm on. Yep. Because I don't think I've got that much line. But let's do the same thing again. Let's just see how far I can cast it. Oh, it's definitely further. It was 46, the other one. Let's just see this and see how far that goes out. It's not landed yet. Oh, there it is. It's just landed now. So look at that. 85.7 feet, guys. It's near the island. I can only just see that. So if you're doing that and you want to see how you float a bit further out, again, go to your settings, go to game, and then just turn it up. So it's probably 6. That should do it. There you go. So now you can see that float out there. Obviously, I won't have it that big. I'll have it as small as it was before because 2 is enough for me. But anyway, I'm going to bring this back in now. You can see on the bottom left-hand side, it's got a clip. You can clip that. I'm going to do that in an advanced video. That's mainly for bottom feeding. So anyway, I'm going to pull this back, guys. And then I'm going to show you how to take a quest. And then I'm going to call it quits on the video because I just wanted to do the basic fundamentals. So let's put this rod away. Let's pick my big fish up. We're going to have a quick look on the board and see what it says on the board about my new fish. There you go. Asbo, first and second place, 6.57 bream on camera. How cool is that, guys? So obviously you can come here and replace my name on that board with your fish using the basic. That's just the basic rod that caught that fish. Anyone can catch a fish like that. So anyway, now we need to find the woman who's walking around. She usually walks down this path to the end of the path. Oh, please don't have walked all the way to the end of the world. Yeah, this is she. Actually, she might be the other way. I'm a bit perplexed here. She might have actually gone because she starts over the little footbridge round the corner here, which is a bit frustrating. But if she's not here, then I'll have to walk all the way back down. And you press the E key to communicate with her, and she'll give you. She's not here. She normally sits on that wood across there. You can fish in this small dike here as well, guys, if you want. Again, just anywhere along really, you can cross over. If you press map, it shows you all that you can see all the areas around here. I've not fished off the island yet. I'm guessing you can swim across and do that if you really wanted to. I haven't done that myself personally. Where's this woman gone? She usually walks around here. Let's see how much we're going to get for this fish that I just landed a minute ago. So you can see it's a 2-star and it's worth 89. That's pretty good, isn't it, for a £6 fish? Not going to sniff at that, guys. Okay. We're going to have to walk down the path. And then when I find this woman, I'm going to finish the video, guys, because this is just getting started. And I think that pretty much shows you everything that you need to know about starting. And it proves that you can even catch decent fish with your basic rod. Cheated a little bit though because I've got a different line on than the starter line, so you'd need to be aware that will be a tougher fish to land on the original. But you can see that you can cast far out to 46 feet with it and fish on the bottom and catch bream. I'm sure you'll catch other types of fish as well, like tench or roach, stuff like that. There she is, right at the end of the path. Really annoying that. So this one with a bucket here will give you a quest. Normally you'll find her right up near the tent, to be honest. So you can randomly pick one of these. I don't know, let's choose that one here. So I've got to catch £220 in 24 hours. Oh, that's a fantastic one. I can do that in about 2 hours. So you get 1,000 silver coins. Woohoo! You get 800 experience, which will go on that. But the fish that you're catching to do that will probably make me level 50. And you get 2,000 points that will go on to that. So live on film, we've actually seen the best. That's the best quest in the game, in my opinion, guys. So if you want to check and see how what you get bonus for that, so the clock's ticking down there. You've got 23 hours, 59 minutes, and it shows you how many you've actually caught. So if we'd have caught that bream there, it would have been knocked off the weight. If you left click that, you can see how much points you get minus for missing it. These quests are dead easy, guys. Everyone can do these quests. Just get yourself on and learn how to fish first before you take these quests, so that you don't get any minuses against your name, because it gets a bit frustrating after a bit. Anyway, there's a couple more pegs on here, guys. I'm not going to go around them all. I'm just going to show you a few of them, just so you can see there's some really nice spots to fish, and that'll kind of like, you can fish here as well if you want to, but I would suggest that you start off fishing on the pegs. Again, I haven't fished on here, so my name isn't there. £12 pike, big one. So you can see here, you could pop your fishing rod on here. So let's just put the starter rod on here. So it's E to put it on just to see where it'll go. So you can see that's where it's going to be. There's nothing stopping you fishing over here though. But anyway, let's put the rod away. So you can fish there. You can actually fish. Oops, fell in the water. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's just get out. So you could stand on here, and if you get out of the water, so you could literally stand on here with your fishing rod in your hand, and you could literally fish right down there if you wanted to. So you could just drop it in here and fish there. Simple. So you can fish anywhere where you can cast, basically. I'm too deep there. Look, my floats. That's what happens when you float's too deep in the water. So you know you're well on the bottom there. But anyway, I'll put my rod away. Let's just go and show you a couple of other pegs going back down to the starter area, and then I'm going to close the video, guys. If you've got any questions, or I haven't explained something clearly for you, or there's something that I've missed because you play this game regular, please feel free to post it below and let me know what I've missed, or any top tips for a starter. Like basic things that I might have missed. I'm pretty sure that I've covered everything, but I am a human, allegedly. There's a board here, look. So here's another peg. So I don't think I'm on here either. I'm not on here yet. Yep. So again, this is a very tight spot. Be aware, guys, you can press the V button when you're on here to make sure you actually stood on the board. And because if you get too close to the edge and you're landing a fish, it's happened to me. I fell in the water and I lost the fish. But you can see there's some really cool places to fish here. Right, and one more bit further down, and then that's going to be it, guys. It'll be concluded. This is the peg before my peg. There's a boat here. I do believe you can get in the boat and go out to the island and fish. You have to press E to get in the boat. But again, there's another rod rest here. Just again, press V if you're a bit scared about falling in the water. Let's make sure I don't fall in the water. So there we go. Oh, that looks a bit close. Look at that, right on the edge with my boots. So yeah, so again, you can fish anywhere here. So you can pretty much just waltz down. You can even stand in the boat and fish. I've actually fished in the boat here and fished in that corner there. It extends your rod a bit further, you know, like your basic cast. So, you know, I said before that, let me just pull this down a bit. It's far too high for over here. So, this is just so you can see, holding it with your left mouse and throwing it in, you can get to that set of lily pads just there, or that bush. I need to turn that float down, guys. It's doing me head in. Game. Float. That's the wrong one. Float magnification, and put it down to 2 again. Right, so that's what the actual float should look like. It should be shotted down a little bit. I wish you'd let us put some shot on so we can dot it down to the red line. So that's how far you can cast under harm from the boat. Now, if we try to get in that same swim by not being in the boat, you have to press E to get back out of the boat. By the way, have I caught a fish? Have I caught a fish? I can't have caught a fish, surely. No. So if you press the space bar, it sits you down. And then it's supposed to be WA, blah, 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 to move around, but that's not working, so must be sat in the wrong part of the boat to do that. Is it this part? Nope. Is it the back part then? I'll probably have to sit on the very back here, I bet. Yeah, it's not allowing me to sail it. There must be... Oh, it's in multiplayer only, not in single player. I think that's why. Anyway. E to get back on the bank. There we go. And that's it, guys. I'm going to conclude the video because we're just faffing about here now. There's another peg here. Again, you can get your name on the board. Maru. Do you think he's a bit... Yeah, he's trying to take the piss there, isn't he? I'm going to have to come on after this video and I'm going to have to knock a few of them off. Soon sort him out. Yeah, so this is fishing. He's fishing. He's definitely fishing towards that island over there. Can bet your bottom dollar on it. Let's have a look and see how close we can get from here with that. Just we can get on the other side of the island. Oh, not quite. In the bushes? Oh, wow. Cast in the bushes. No, just to the right. There it is. So, yeah, that's a fair old way away, that guy, isn't it? 86 metres. So that's where he's been catching these bream in that area. Anyway, that's enough of that. Guys, I'm going to conclude the video here. Any suggestions? Any questions? I'm going to do some more videos going forward. This is the look at that pike jumping out there. This is getting started, the basics. I'm going to do fundamentals as well. Things like balancing your tackle, where to fish to maximise your returns, hot spots. I'm going to be doing different videos with all sorts of things on. I'll be doing like multi-rodding, using multi-rods, bottom feeding. I'll do a couple of videos on each thing, and I'll progressively get them tougher and show you how, like, balancing your equipment out, etc., etc. So that's my plan for the future, just while I'm playing this game. But obviously, I'm still playing another MMO at the moment as well, so I'll be doing videos on that and any other games. Another game that I'll be covering when it comes out will be Light No Fire. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm stoked for that. That's where that lady starts walking. Anyway, guys, that is going to conclude my video. I hope it's been helpful to you. Cheeky Jack Gaming, keeping it simple. Bye-bye.